All right. Should people be put to death? Like, should they be able to get receive physician-assisted suicide if they're terminally ill and not going to live?
Yeah.
There should be they should have there's 3 significant ways that we should take this as choice. Like, people have the choice in their life, whether or not they want to die. Like, if they're terminally ill and they're going to die, and there would be requirements for this in order for them to choose this. Also, quality of life. If people were suffering from their illness, or if they're in so much pain that they can't take it, to be able to choose to receive physician-assisted suicide. And also economic costs and human resources, because it costs a lot for them to stay in the hospital if they can't afford it, if it's too much of a burden on their family or something. If we don't give people the choice to choose doctor-assisted suicide, we'd be taking away their right to die when they want to, if they felt that they needed to. If the patient is suffering so much that it's just excruciating and they're just laying there and they have to go through it. I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't want to just be in so much pain that you could hardly live. It was said at euthanasia.procon.org that Hemlock Society, they get calls daily from desperate people who are looking for people like Jack Kevorkian in their lives that have lost all quality, and they're just in so much stress and pain. And today in many countries, the hospitals are so small that they don't have enough space to have these terminally ill patients that are just sitting there taking up space, even though they're going to die eventually, and they're just sitting there when they could be through suffering and just end what they're going through. I feel that we should allow people to have the choice of whether or not they can choose doctor-assisted suicide, and that it shouldn't just be not just any condition. If somebody says they just want to die, it can't just be you choose to receive suicide. You have to have certain things wrong with you, terminally ill, and you have to be able to make the choice that the doctor can't just choose for you to give it to you. Such as in the Oregon state that has the suicide, they don't just give it to you. You do have to meet certain criteria as age, and you have to be dying within a certain amount of time. And if someone's terminally ill, they're just putting and they're in the hospital, just if they have 3 months to live and they're just sitting in there. They could be from a poor family that doesn't have that can't afford to pay for this in the hospital, and then the family suffers through them, which means they could want to help their family not have to go through all this and not have to see the person. Because my dad, his sister, actually had some sort of illness, I'm not 100% sure, and he said when he saw her, she was just in so much pain every time, and it just kept getting worse and worse every time, and it just hurt him so much to see her suffer that once she finally passed away, it was just such a relief on everybody around because of what she'd gone through. So for all these things of choice, you can choose what you want to go through and don't want to go through. Your quality of life, if it's just so bad for you that you don't even want to live anymore, there must be something horribly wrong there. And the cost to people just to stay actually alive, if they can't afford it and don't want to hurt their families more, in the end they should be able to choose whether or not they receive physician-assisted suicide.